Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ESL Challenger League, where we've got another fun night of North American action. I'm Darth Mike, joined tonight by none other than Mr. Austin Bogdanovich. How you doing tonight, Boggs?
Mike, I'm doing fantastic. It's no longer 117 degrees outside, so it's a great day.
There you go. Finally, your beard has come into seasonal weather fashion. It's no longer actively melting your chin off. But we do have a face-meltingly good game tonight. This one should be pretty exciting. It's Party Astronauts taking on the Evil Geniuses, and obviously there's a lot of history between these teams. There's also a lot of history between one of the teams and the other's org, and there's a lot of history in a lot of ways. It seems like a little bit of a, maybe, I don't know if a grudge match, but, you know, both of these teams, for context, if you're not super closely following the scene, were assigned to Evil Geniuses. These were the former cores of the Evil Geniuses Black and White Academy, well, not Academy rosters, Blueprint Project rosters. But in the reshuffling of Evil Geniuses, trying to figure out what the heck they were doing with their CS division, the EG team that you see before you got promoted up from being EG Black into being the main roster, and Party Astronauts were let go. So, you know, always good to be able to potentially show up and say, hey, maybe you chose wrong. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more in it for Party Astronauts tonight.
Definitely have to expect Party Astronauts to be playing with a chip on their shoulders. Chop as well was part of that old RBG roster core with Walco and Hex that became EG Black later on. So there's going to be a little bit extra, I think, for him too against his former teammates, not just org mates, as would be the case for Ben and Pone alone, but there's a little more skin in the game for Chop. And then you got younger guns like Grizz and Spec who just want to prove themselves up against some older, more experienced players like Automatic, and Junior at this point's been around the block for a while too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Chop narrative, he was removed when George came into this Evil Geniuses team, so that's going to be an interesting connection. Another interesting through thread. Frankly, both of these teams haven't had the swiftest of adjustments into Counter-Strike 2. I feel like it's gone particularly roughly for Evil Geniuses. We've seen them plummet down the standings a little bit more than we would expect. And as we take a look at those standings, actually, we can get a sense that for this EG team, frankly, their position's pretty tenuous in this season, right? You can't do a whole lot more of losing because they've dropped games to teams that we just wouldn't expect. You're unjustified, you're nouns. You can't keep sliding there, but the same is true for the Party Astronauts as well. Both these teams, teams that we would have expected to be more of locks in towards that playoff standing because of, again, losses to the same teams. Now it's not justified. It means that this match takes on a lot of importance.
Yeah, impactful for seeding and trying to make it into the playoff picture. I know playoffs are technically bigger now, but there's also more at stake as teams outside of the top, I want to say top 6, have a single elimination, lower bracket run to make it through. We'll take a peek at those standings right now and really break this down for you all, so we can really see how things are looking for these two teams. But Unjustified is one of those that has really been a surprise since CS2 has come on the line, taking out both Party Astronauts and EG. I believe it was a consecutive days as well. Back-to-back 2-0s. It was just really good performances from Unjustified. And Nouns, they are top of the standings, and with good reason. They qualified for ESL Challenger League, Mike, and they're also just tearing things up domestically. I believe it's 5 or 6 series consecutively won against the Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, no, absolutely, making it a tough matchup for them in particular. But it does just say that both these teams are in a similar place within this bracket. Obviously, they want to be in towards that top 4, if not the top 6 at a minimum, to avoid that early round immediately starting from the lower bracket. And when you're looking at the board right now, you've got Nouns locked in there. You've got Wildcard very much locked in there. M80, when they come back from Europe, you have to imagine are going to go on a bit of a tear. So then you're looking at one more spot in that top 4, 3 more spots in the top 6. It's going to be competitive. You've both got losses to Unjustified. That takes the tiebreaker and makes it an issue. You've still got teams vying to maybe make a move of it. But I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one for either of these squads. But it does put special import on this, even though, I mean, look, this has been a weird season. It's kind of the mid-season for Party Astronauts and EG, but we're also in the late season. Playoffs are before you know it. That's just the nature of swapping to the new game, having really changed our times on a lot of things, folks. But it does mean that you got to get your season going right now. And particularly for EG, who've looked rough since the transition into the new game, have looked a lot meeker than you would expect. I think we really need to see them start to put their feet under them, and no better way to do it than against your old org mates in Party Astronauts.
Yeah, I mean, at this level of North America, everyone knows everybody too. There's always going to be a little skin in the game just for the bragging rights, but this has a little extra on top of that, and the importance you mentioned standings-wise. And for EG too, they do have that org, so there's a little extra responsibility on them to get things going. And as you've said, they really have not had the best of times in CS2. Junior has looked good for opping as far as CS2 is concerned. Opping is not exactly the easiest thing to do in CS2. We're seeing a lot of oppers struggle with that. They're finding more and more consistency, but still it seems that we're lacking that kind of flair, that flashy style of oppers where they could take over the entire game. It doesn't seem to happen anymore, but Junior has shown moments of being able to op aggressively. I think that can be a game changer for EG here up against Party Astronauts and a very stalwart opponent in Pone alone.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ponolo no slouch, 30-year-old town himself. But let's take a look at the veto. Let's figure out the arena where we are going to be taking through these games. We've got our veto through. Party Astronauts are going to take out Vertigo. EG take out Anubis. We've got Overpass as PA's pick, Ancient as EG's, and then Nuke to finish things off. Now, the Ancient pick for Evil Geniuses is interesting. They've been playing a lot of Ancient recently, but it's kind of funny that, they're a team that hates the new map pretty much always. They vetoed Ancient up until Anubis got added, and then they started vetoing Anubis. But they've really been working it into their pool. What do you make of this veto here, Bugs?
Well, neither team plays Anubis. I was wondering if somebody would play chicken with it and maybe float that towards the end, pull it out as a pocket pick, but no. EG want to get rid of that right away. PA going in for an overpass map, it's not surprising at all to me. It feels like Ben and Elite teams in general play overpass a ton, and so that's a very classic pick for them. Although the last time they did play EG, it was a 13-1 loss on overpass. So it's an interesting pick in that regard, and maybe they fix things up. Ancient for EG, they've had some success on it, 1-1 versus Nouns, a loss versus Party Astronauts, but the same thing. Maybe they have some sort of knowledge about how the opponent plays, some sort of adaptation to make this one go forward.
Yeah, I mean, an important clarifier in that last matchup as well. That was the 4th of October, so it was pretty much right after the swap into the new game. That's just always one of those where it's really tough to judge and draw too many conclusions from it because so many things were different. And I mean, even between now and then, things have obviously shifted within the new game, within Counter-Strike 2, with the rate of updates that we're getting. So tough to read too much into that, but you're right. The 13-1 has to make you a little timid. And I mean, look, this Evil Geniuses core has played a lot of overpass as well over their tenure. It used to be a very solid home ground for them. It's been a little weaker of late, but that's definitely going to be one where that opping matchup that you highlighted is going to be at the forefront, right? When we're looking at Junior, when we're looking at Pwn alone, potentially going toe-to-toe. Overpass tends to be one of those maps where you maybe get a little bit more of the op tool than you're used to seeing. It'll be interesting to see if it does come through, but for the moment, folks, it's time for us to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be live in the server ready for map number 1.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
And we are in there, folks. Thanks for bearing with us on that slight delay. Had to get some servers sorted out, but we should be all good to run now. Evil Genius is taking on the Party Astronauts in a matchup between a lot of players who used to wear the EG colors all at the same time. Remember the blueprint?
Yeah.
Feels like it was so long ago. We're going to get an engagement here in Con early on, Box. And, ooh, my goodness, it's coming out well for EG.
The Automatic with those first two openers, but Ponalone answers back with a pair of his own. Automatic still stands tall, though, and ends it with a 4-piece. No bomb plan, only 2 kills for PA. And that is about as good of a start as you can get for the old guard on EG, for the veteran in this server. And that'll mean no force spy for the Party Astronauts in this round. They'll go Glocks, maybe a couple of upgraded pistols, P250s, flashbang here or there, but mostly a minimal investment from the T side, and an opportunity for EG to pad those bank accounts. The MP9s on 3, Junior remaining on the dual Berettas, saving for a big green gun. I don't know, Overpass, you really want to get that out as soon as you can if you are the Opper. And through the fire and flames, PA run through in towards Playground. Nobody peeking, though, from EG. They don't want to get caught off guard by a Glock rush. And a wise decision is Junior, the only man up top bathroom, really the only guy proper A, aside from Automatic, who's still in Con. This is a opportunity for a bomb plant here for Party Astronauts.
Could be. Could be. I mean, with just Junior on the dualies, it does make it a little tough to actually hold them at bay. Gonna get some shots off, but they're trying to chase in towards bathrooms, right? They want to get this kill. They want to win this round, and in doing so, actually leave themselves a little bit vulnerable, but Junior does get run down eventually. Problem is he just did have those dualies, and now the cavalry is here. Party Astronauts misread this situation a little bit, dropped the bomb down the steps, and the window for a bomb plant, it has slammed shut on them. Look at the health, though. This isn't done just yet. Everybody's down around half health. The dualies from Ben could actually make some noise here, as strange as that sounds. The problem is that bomb being down the steps is just impossible to retrieve without util.
Yeah, Automatic down there with Walco as well. George keeping an eye on the A side proper. There's really no window in for Party Astronauts after that door was slammed on their fingers.
They're giving it up.
Yeah.
They're giving up the bomb.
Or wait, were they just trying to bait out a rotation?
No, they're trying to buy more time off the clock. 20 seconds, right? So they're saying, all right, they're going to have to make the move. Now they're going. But if George goes down, I mean, this could absolutely be a bomb plan. Automatic's even a little bit slow creeping up. George not going to entertain the possibility. There was a moment. That moment quickly dispelled.
Yeah, they don't book it in towards the site. They try and deal with Junior first, and that does cost them a bomb plant. Still 2 kills, not too bad, although one was just Junior on the dual Berettas and nothing else. He'll have an AUG instead of an AWP here, and so will George. I've been seeing a lot of these scoped rifles coming through in CS2, Mike. I'm loving it. I love those two. I love the Krieg and the AUG, and Junior, he can make good work with the George as well. Crisp with the aim, as we saw in the last round, the last 2. The bullseye up for Party Astronauts, 1 Galil for Chop. Riz takes a little bit of a singe as he crosses through that smoke, taking a bit to delay and pop open that smoke. But Hext goes down to that Galil early, and the aggression out from EG gets punished first and foremost. They might have spotted Walco. 2 Automatic doubles up in Con, though, and that restores an advantage to the CT side.
He's been having a crispy start to this game. Obviously 4 in the pistol, and that was a nice little sequence to hold on to connector. Still, all the responsibilities on Junior's shoulders. And he's pushed up aggressively into the bathrooms, deleted. Now they're in big trouble. There was no fallback. There was no support for him either. This is definitely a bomb plant. It's going to be very interesting into the post, because look at the positioning for Chop. Right, he's going to try and corral this connector rotation, see if he can catch the kill. And if he catches Walco off guard, well, then you're getting a little one-dimensional.
Does his old IGL expect the position up in Party, though? Ponalone is joined up with him. There's no way Walco gets out of this alive. Maybe 1 if he's lucky. Not even that. Chop only takes 1 shot in return. George and Automatic trying to come through with Automatic on 44 HP. The Molotov lands at the entrance to jump up. And they're just going to call it quits here and save these 2 guns. An abort on the round for EG. And Party Astronauts strike swiftly on the guns. A very good start by Chop. That double up with the Galil. And you're getting caught out. Really solidified that round. That solo player alone in bathrooms.
Yeah.
No way out. No
One of
real
the things
damage.
I've noticed about Evil Geniuses over the course of the last, I mean, basically since the swapping of the new game, is they are one of the teams that has seemed to adapt to the mechanics the least. And it's kind of, there's a good example of it in that round, which is that Junior is holding, right? He's holding an angle in the bathrooms, totally stock still, no movement, no checking, no jiggling, no info. That's a death sentence in Counter-Strike 2. Right now, the guy peeking into you from the fighter just has such a massive advantage because of the way Peeker's advantage is being handled right now, because of the way movement's being handled right now. So it's something I have noticed with the Evil Geniuses side is one of the reasons why they've been having a lot of trouble with some of their matchups recently. They just don't seem to be taking the initiative, initiating those fights, taking those fights. You saw it at the beginning of that round in Connector, right? Automatic got her done, but then they just had Junior stock still, and we'll see if that trend continues, because it is a concerning one. You do need to be adapting. You've seen pros get so much more rapid about the way they're holding things. I mean, even on land, it was noticeable in Sydney. You don't have players holding angles in the same way. Everyone's jiggling for information. Everyone's jiggling to initiate the fight. It's just it's a whole new world, man.
It's a hyper-aggressive world. That's a very astute observation, Mike, and it's a very good one, which really does show how EG lost that round. Just too static. Not proactive enough, like Walko
That's a
around the
good move.
pillar. That's exactly what you need to do. Swings for a pair, but he only gets the one. Bomb can move to the side of Spec, takes further control down the pit, clears it out, drops the molly, and automatic falls as well as alone. He's holding a more long-range angle with the AUG, but
They're
it's
out.
gotta be another save.
Again, I don't really understand that setup. They haven't really seen much. I guess they're clearing in towards Colin, but they go 4-1. Right?
Yeah.
They pull everybody off the site. It's just Walko. They don't have any information outside of B either. It's not like they had peeked Monster and seen that it was clear, or they had control in towards short, where you can sort of go into a 4-1. It's just a little bit ambitious on the stacking there. Kind of the reverse of what they'd done in the previous round, and Party Astronauts read it and exploit it.
Yeah, because they pushed water last round and they got punished for it, and this time just stack towards the opposite site and pay for it again. Just one kill opens up the bomb site. Wasn't even more than a 1-for-1 too. A 2-for-1 from Walko maybe gets EG away back into the round, but only one kill. It's not enough, and that's too much to put on one guy's shoulders in a game where multi-kills are so hard to come by. And look at their money now, Mike. It's shattered. You have the saved guns, but it's a dual Beretta pair on automatic. This is rough. It's going to be very hard for them to get anything done. Now they're stacking again. This time they're stacking B. Junior side.
He is indeed aggressively postured, again holding an angle, eats the flash, gets caught. No presence on A. So far, this is uninspiring. George, though, on the boost up, will catch Pwn alone. Seemed like PA was aware that that could be a possibility, but just a little bit awkward into the angle. Still, it shouldn't pose too much of a problem if they actually do just take the space towards A, which they are doing. George is the only big gun into the round at this point. Now as they gain the ground, as they smoke off the chokes. It shouldn't be very viable. George out, though. Gets one. Sets up Hex for the second. This is a problem now for PA. They've been caught in the open, and Specs down to 2 points. Chop's going to clear this out, but good luck here. Going for the bomb plant. So fortunate they don't have util. Oh, he comes off of it. Now the Molotov's actually an angle. Hexed. Reads the spot wrong. Still, it's going to be about Chop. He's got to put in the work here. As they clear into his angles, unarmored opponent should be chewed through rather quickly. He's playing off his teammate's contact. That's not a bad idea. Waiting to hear the jumps. Walker's got the big gun. It's all about the tap here. Well played from Chop. Again, just giving them nothing for free. And Walko, no armor, has to take this fight. He knows it, but he's a dead man. No amount of Peeker's advantage is going to help you there. So a recovery for Party Astronauts. A round win still in their favor, but golly, did that look tenuous.
That was won by a thread. Chop pulls off a big play holding from long, and he does take advantage of the no armor on a couple of those opponents. Wins the fight pretty clean against Walco in the end. But PA now get a lead very early on in their map pick. 3-2 the score. A buy up again from EG. That was just EG on a save with a very meager investment of a pair of dualies. But Party Astronauts that off back in the hands of Pwn alone. He got shut down by that boost over towards B, but it's a 3-stack up lane. Bathroom side for EG this time. Not really peeking Fountain, just taking control and now huddling up a crossfire alongside Bath with one divider and George. 2 on the B side proper, Walco and Hext, but Hext is rather isolated. Walco still playing far back towards Graffiti. Party Astronauts are all set, ready to go once the smoke dissipates in Monster. Couple good mollies, a couple good kills can spell the end for EG here, and they've used most of their hold utility. In fact, most of the EG utility as a whole has been used up at the minute 10 mark. This flash from Pwn alone can end the day. Spec has another one prepped. In comes the utility, out goes the push, and Hex is not going to be too long. I say that, but he's able to get around that smoke, and combined with Walco for an opener, that smoke might have just saved EG here's rotation to come through. Hex stands for another. Walco still around though, and time is ticking. Rotations are coming through, and Walco takes the position of his fallen comrade.
Yeah, nicely done. They're not going to expect a barrels player here, most likely. Player drops in. Spec not seeing anyone. Might actually be aware at this point, but yeah, there's Walco. Slippery as an eel, this one, and his opponent alone comes around. That's the bomb now dropped into his lap at this point. The reinforcements are here, so for Grizz, it might just be about damage. 6 health, but another kill comes out. 5 bullets in the gun. Headshots galore. A little bit of an awkward look from Junior on the first, but we'll call that sub-tick.
Yeah.
All good. EG, big win. But the money, though. The money is tenuous for both sides now. No bomb plant means that this one's a tough choice for the Party Astronauts, but there's not good CT economy just yet, so you could see a forced buy justified here.
Almost like to see a timeout from PA just to figure out what they really want to go for, but looks like they're going to go for the Glocks here. A more conservative economic strategy coming out from the T's. A little bit of utility around those Glocks, couple flashes, couple smokes and Molotov. Then up against the rifles and SMG of Evil Geniuses. That last round, though, is salvation for EG. Gives them a good chance now to build into this game, into this half, really. Instead of being down under the gun economically, they have a chance to build up. They have a chance to get some more rounds on the board, making this a respectable CT half. The blocks run in, and the MP9 stings for 2. Almost a third, but Hex shall fall. Should be the only victim, though, and the last alive. Mowed down, belabored by George and Walco together. And only one casualty, more than enough there for EG. But PA are going to be back on the buy. However, their utility's going to be a little lacking, Mike. Still going to be strained to get a buy up here.
Yeah, it's not going to be great. And at this point, keeping that clean, EG have a lot more breathing room. Credits to them. They've shifted up the way the B-side defense goes. Keeping numbers onto it, having some more success with it as well, so. We're going to get here. A little bit of connector control established from PA. Chop taking some damage on the spam there. Oh, assembling the boost? That would be risky at this juncture. Could go for it late, though. Utility to set it up, and there it is. That's beautiful sequence from Evil Geniuses. You set up the utility to make the player in water uncomfortable, and then you peek not to kill the water player, but to peek the door. Ah, it's really nicely done there from Evil Geniuses. What a way to give yourselves the 5v4.
Great little flash, too.
Talk about that mortar shot, though, there, Boggs.
That's an artillery strike. That's almost laser-like precision there. There's the second follow-up. Night to Hex. Chop knew what was up, and he calls the bluff. Hex didn't believe there would be a second HE flying his way.
I think he threw
getting aggressive.
Both. That's actually so. Chop must have picked up the other one from his fallen teammate by the door, but all right, Junior, never mind. Let's focus in on the op, because this is everything that they need. Couple quick shots. And Grizz taking space out towards long, but Party Astronauts this time have seemed to be the ones who stalled out. Obviously being a little bit more patient this point in time. It's going to be a duel with automatic that Grizz has to deal with. He will be good for it. Means that Junior's now pinched. Very tough to get out of this angle of all things, but he will be good for it. Junior, oh, even trying to get the last kill brought through, but he has left a half health Grizz with only 10 seconds. The site choice is made for him. And out by the truck, Walco waits to deal the killing blow. Well done there from Junior.
That's a great play by Junior. Shotgun opping, aggressive in your face. And he makes it click on CS2. Timeout now called by the Party Astronauts as they're at another economic juncture where they can't really go all in. The CT economy is actually a little bit better now. It's not perfect. There's still a few players, 3 to be exact, that are, make it 4, that aren't really in the best economic situation. Junior at least has 3K. Walco at 1500's borderline, but Hexed, Automatic, and George all kind of struggling for some cash. EG, though, do not want to fall into temptation. They don't want to go all in. But we're also getting to the late stages of this half. A 6th likely for EG, and a half buy coming forth from the Party Astronauts with a couple of pistols, a little bit of utility, and maybe something fast and furious with the pistols. Just run, gun, overwhelm, death ball tactics here with the flashes and the smokes. Dual Bird is a late buy by Ben.
Yeah, it's tough without the armor, right? You're just going to get chewed up. But we have seen a lot of teams have success with the faster techie buys. Again, just the nature of Counter-Strike 2 right now. If you fly into a site and overwhelm and you pick the right spot, very tough to respond to if you're evil geniuses.
F1 peek it.
Not going to be the issue here. Oh, timing. Timing for Junior. Repositions at just the wrong moment. They're actually past the lip, and he may not expect it, but... oh, it could be a shish kebab shot. Gonna get the one. Has support from the rifler as well. Junior's able to hit another, and he will be the only casualty of the round. So Junior makes good for it. Nearly got timing, but a little too quick for that one.
He still got 2, and that's probably better than could be expected, reasonably, getting pistol rushed with an op. So he's showing his prowess at closer ranges again with the sniper. But Pone alone has 1 to try and counter it again. 2 more rounds to go. No, 3 more rounds to go at the end of this half. And no op for Pone alone. He sells it for rifle and utility. An interesting choice, but not necessarily an unwelcome one. It gives them a lot more freedom in how they want to move. A little more aggression, perhaps, to come forward here from the Party Astronauts. As Pone alone slips through to keep an eye on long through playground. Junior's op shot just forced out by that flash to fall away. And EG now getting a little bit of trace damage onto Walco from Chop. But no real contact been made by Party Astronauts. They'll peek out long now. Junior's got a prime opportunity as George falls. That's a distraction. Down goes Junior. And EG are dropping like flies. Party Astronauts have opened the map. And Automatic's walking right into the trap. There he goes.
That's a big 3rd kill on Automatic. The first 2 are kind of tendency punishes, which I'll explain in just a flash, because right now we've got the sight hit coming through. Flashbang will stall things out for a moment. And Hex makes good on it. Huge play from Hex, but it's not enough to get them back into the round. So, couple tendency punishes there for the Party Astronauts. They kill George on the boost up from B. We've seen EG run this 3 rounds. I think that was the 3rd, maybe the 4th round if they run it this half. So PA are definitely looking for that, definitely looking to punish. EG may not find that so free anymore. And then it's just the nature of they're leaving Junior isolated in a lot of situations. Automatic was kind of close at hand, but Junior opted to go towards long that round instead, so he couldn't quite get in there for the trade. That works out beautifully for Party Astronauts. It's always going to be the risk of leaving an opera on an island is, you know, that first shot, that first flash, whatever it is. Very tough to recover. Different look this time. Automatic Junior playing together once again and looking to answer to that long approach. This is another thing we've kind of seen from EG is they're very reactive in terms of they always set up to address what happened last round, right? So this time it's the double long approach. We saw it with the 4-1 stacks that they were playing for a little while where they're, you know, putting 4 into the site that was hit last, which is of course very reasonable. You want to address your weaknesses, your deficiencies. But Party Astronauts have not been repeating a lot of calls.
No, they've had a deep strat book, which is to be expected given Ben Leet's affinity for the map as a whole. And Party Astronauts are mixing things up quite well. They're also getting a lot of information. They're probing, they're prodding, they're trying to play with evil geniuses and make them doubt their own decisions. Automatic now starting to clear up these playground around. This is a telegraph hit. Hex does a good job to hold the line. He does get traded back, but the utility is holding. Walco is still here as well, playing around pit. Molotov's ranging around the position. Scorch tries to range Hellfire from heaven. He only strikes for 2, but he's done a massive amount onto Ben as well. No bomb plant yet, although Ben will attempt that and will be successful here. But the retake is already set automatic through Monster, strikes from behind, and Poen alone, there's not really much he can do, barring a Herculean effort with the big green. A flank is in from Junior. He's blind as a bat. He will not survive momentarily. Down he falls. The off will be picked back up. Junior will get dropped that from his teammates. AKs on the remaining 2. And EG hold the line well, but it's that first from Hex that gives them a platform. And then that double up from George.
Yeah, George and Heaven, man. Just no smoke for Heaven. Nothing to call that out. No, flashes, mollies, anything. If you're not going to do that, obviously somebody needs to have responsibility for it, but there may have just been a fumble point. 3 players coming around the pillar, right? They're trying to get that bomb down, planted expeditiously, and it's just bit of an unfortunate window for the Party Astronauts, but EG are very happy to capitalize. And obviously for George, some snappy shooting as well to make sure that he's not just taking one there. But it does mean that EG are going to be escaping with an advantage out of this half, right? Again, this isn't their map pick. This is Party Astronauts trying to put the pressure on. At least so far, it's looked like a position of a lot of comfort. Uh-oh, Spec. You had your gun out. That's a kill. But setting up the nade, things go awry. And Ben Lee will lose his life as a result.
He ate a double nade from EG on the site, too. They were trying to counter some water control, and Ben bears the brunt of that, eventually getting spammed. That tendency punish trying to come through from PA this time ends up going against them.
Automatic creeping. Automatic might have the flank here quickly. Wrapping in towards the fountain. Junior holding the angle with the AWP. Don't think he spotted anyone just yet, but he is going looking, and now automatic strikes. Gets the flank on the first. Little fast and loose with the utility here, but he is harassing in a big way, and with that bomb down as well, Party Astronauts could be a little frozen up here. They got to be careful, because at this point, EG are going to try and encircle. And they're reading it nicely. Grizz won't be able to get anything done. The hit's coming in towards A, but look at the bodies on site and the connector control. Ooh, not expecting Bar to be out. Dice, that's an oversight, an overlook, and it's an 8th round to send us to the half. Half number 2 underway. And doubled up lead here for the Evil Geniuses. It was looking a little tentative in some of those early gun rounds, but EG sorting it out, getting some nice peaks off the boosts. And taking it through 8 rounds. Question is, what's the defense going to look like for the Party Astronauts? And right now, very proactive here outside of B.
No real spot here on the long players. I don't think Ben saw this at all. There's no reaction, no rotation from PA. And the Evil Geniuses on Around the World look to be going into the stack here. Do they fall off when they make contact with 2 in water? Or do they assume it's the bulk of the defense? All the noise coming through. They do clear out Poen alone, although he's able to get 2. How does he get 3? He's got 4. He's got 4 from pit, from water. He should have been done with 1, if that. The Glocks have all the advantage.
Should have been.
Taps away.
Little snappy shoot and little revenge for the first half, perhaps. You recall Automatic did much the same on their pistol. So maybe a little bit of a mirror being held up here, but let's see if Automatic finds some magic of his own. Takes the first. Isolated fight with the second. Still got time, 35 seconds. This is not done. And he's got some options. No information, so it's a question of the devil he knows versus that he does not. Door closes. Does that bait anyone into the rotation? Oh, smoke's bad. Smoke's bad. There's a gap, but Chop holds his nerve. Doesn't bite on the door. And so PA will get a much-needed pistol round off the back of Poen Alone's heroics.
30-year-old talent carrying the Young Bucks. Big round for Poen Alone and massive for Party Astronauts as it keeps them out of trouble, at least for a little bit longer. Technical pause has come through. And I'm not sure how long this one will persist for, but might not be too long of an issue. Doesn't look like we'll need any sort of match medic or anything, so there we are, back into the action. But Poen Alone has just got PA essentially within 2 rounds because EG should be saving here, Glocks out. And there's no excuse to lose into a Glock round like this. So, Party Astronauts are right back in this overpass matchup.
Chop's got an XM. What you gonna do with this, Chop? XM has been gaining mass favor. It is quite the smackaroni in the current meta.
So fun to play with.
It does feel satisfying. Just absolutely clap somebody with a bop bop of the auto shotty.
Although it's not usually just one.
They're going to take long control. This isn't being policed right yet, and it is Spec who's close enough. Unarmored players, this MP9 should chew through them like a hot knife through butter, but they are going to put the pressure on. Takes the first, the second, the third as well. Nicely done from Spec. Got the bomb confirmed, dropped. And here's Walco close at hand, so it's just a matter of time. They keep it clean at Duke Party Astronauts as they look to build back into this game.
Yeah, 4 on Spec 2. That's a lot of cash. And he'll be happy with that. Couple Galils already coming out from Evil Geniuses, so they can get extra utility up in this round. No op for Junior. Definitely no op for Poen Alone. It's a bonus round and a full bonus, too, for the Party Astronauts. Ben not even going all the way in. Famas in his hands. And EG have to be careful here. If they lose this round or win this round with only 1 or 2 players alive, Party Astronauts have such a strong position to churn back and restore parity of the scoreline. One might get aggressive too. Peak sprays. Does not hang around too long. It's a good little hit and fade tactic, but both Spec and Poen Alone leaving Con wide open to the exploits of the Evil Geniuses. To a 3-2 split A site bolstered. Interesting call here, and a double up long side as well.
I'm just the one full focusing it. They're ready for the smoke fade to be the big problem. But EG aren't. ready to commit just yet. A little bit of duel out towards long, a little bit of flirtation here. Obviously, you don't want to take this fight with an MP9 if you're Pwn alone. You're just trying to get information. And right now what they're doing is they're whittling time off the clock. We got 45 seconds, and EG have a lot of control around the map. But not a lot of specific space.
They don't even have the bomb in possession yet. Finally, at 35, they grab it.
Yeah, they're going to be shifting their way towards A. They're making their commit. They're giving up that B space. Actually, it's been ran wrong, but Spec doesn't care. Ben lead strikes as well. This is a big problem now. George out towards long might be the skeleton key to open things up, but having not seen the bomb, no one's rotating just yet. But the bomb, it's in the hands of Automatic. He's going to clear his corner, but not well enough. That should be the round. There's just not enough time for George to work here. They've got that bomb confirmed, and even if George can hit this first shot, he's got to try and get this bomb back to site. There just aren't enough seconds on the clock, so he'll have to watch this one slip away. Huge round from Spec. They just could not dig him out of the divider.
Yeah, Spec just absolutely massive there on the MP9. Shuts down the full buy of EG. George has to fight his way to stay alive. He does manage that. That was the bonus round for the Party Astronauts, and they convert that with relative ease. They still have an MP9. They still have the XM on Chop. An op now for Pwn alone, but money looking great for the CT side. Just that AK for George, and half-bot pistols around him. A couple of vests coming through. P250s, a block and utility for Junior. It's a poor round for the evil geniuses as far as weaponry is concerned. Party Astronauts one away from the tie score. Chop up close on Monster 2 in a great spot to shut them down as they waltz on in. Let that auto shot.
Deleted. Deleted. Flashbang's good. This is a problem now. Grizz under pressure. Now the XM's in the wrong hands, and Hex making himself some money with it, playing gun game, getting an upgrade here, and Hex might do it all himself. 3 big kills on Pwn alone, bailing the heck out of there, trying to save this AWP. He finally invested into the big green, and I mean, look what it's cost him. Junior's looking. Junior's looking to get his hands on this. Oh, and he'll be able to do so. Talk about an upgrade. Talk about flipping the script here. Evil geniuses. It's all about Automatic with that P250.
And then you got Hexed going out. I thought they removed arms race from the game.
There you go.
They brought it back. New patch line. Hexed only. P2
Scout's knives.
XM.
What is Scout's knives going to be like on Subtick? Maybe that's why it's not in the game.
I don't even want to know. That's a horrifying thought.
It's
very Halloween appropriate, Mike. It's a horror show.
Speaking of spooky, Party Astronaut's got to be feeling some kind of way. Grizz will be the one who gets the short end of the stick onto the Deeg here. Cannot lose this round if you're PA.
Uh-oh.
Peek over. Did Chop?
Oh, he saw him.
What? Saw him?
Well, Walco saw him, I think. They know.
A little bit of an odd interaction there, but it is a 4-man stack here over towards B. The spam finding damage. Walco on notice, and seeing this much presence, EG is going to shift it up. Going up top, and Spec is left alone, and he is under so much pressure. Flashed out, dropped down. No heroics for Spec this time. Little self-nade nearly takes out Walco, but it will be a-okay. I suspect this is going to turn into some degree of save, though Ben Lee has committed one of the few rifles. Flash found 1 kill. They trade it back more than in kind. Bomb down. Pwn alone left to try and save an AWP once more. And EG taken very close to a win here.
They've got the double digits now. It's going to be the save from Grizz and Pwn alone. Don't think there's going to be much of a hunt here from EG, although Automatic's starting to probe. He's probably the least apt to go for an actual final hunt, though, given he has the least amount of money in the team. But keeping the guns up in hand here for EG is of paramount importance. Don't give a free AK over to Grizz. He's only on the Deagle, and they know that. So for EG, a couple successful rounds in a row. Party Astronauts cannot withstand the onslaught. And their money in a very bad spot. Only the op of Pwn alone to get anything going. Well, Pwn alone might be able to pot 4 with a pistol. I don't know if he's going to be able to do the same with the big green gun up against a full buy of AKs. The op to counter him from Junior. Doesn't even have the proper fountain spawn either. Can go for it with the flash peek, but he doesn't have that spawn advantage, and it's a disadvantageous peek down to B for him too. The one hope, maybe get that op going aggressive somewhere, get that opening pick, surge pistols around, recover that gun, and try and give Hex a taste of his own medicine. The strat's out the window. And they're going to send the op to boost into water, and it falls off so quickly that
yeah, they actually had the right idea. They're just really nervous. You're super exposed to somebody coming up connector, right? So that was just trying to go for the quick pick and bail. But they might have caught somebody if they had a little bit more patience with that one. I don't mind the idea of trying to maximize the AWP. It's just didn't commit fully to the bit. It's possible as well he's just fallen off the boost, and it's a bit of a tricky one to hold. Didn't have the angle he was looking for. Couldn't tell you. What maybe I can tell you,
something or thought he did.
Not finding it is going to be tough because they're headed towards A right now, and the only defender is Spec with a smoke, a USP, and a prayer.
And I don't think that smoke landed where he wanted to either. He's going to have to move around the dice box, and he cannot escape. Dancy Mighty shut down by Hext. Just holding up and jump up. Smoke drops down, and bomb will be planted momentarily as smokes obscure the vision all across the site. The op from Poland should be nowhere near this site. It should be as far away as possible, where it's still safe to hide, find safe harbor. He's backing away already with Chop in tow. In towards Graffiti. This might end up being a bit of a fight for survival, although EG have secured their exit out towards T-spawn, so that should be their way through. Grizz gifted an opportunity, but denied the satisfaction.
There's always a bit of an interesting question, which is how much do you want to hunt in this kind of a round? Not so much because you fear the other side, but because it's, okay, what's the gain of killing all the USPs versus the risk of giving them an extra AK? So that's the value proposition that you're asking if you're EG. They're a team that tends to veer on the side of conservative with economic choices anyway. So they just, a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a peek over, little kill exchange, no guns given over, no harm, no foul. Let them have the op, see what they can do with it in this one. But if you're party astronauts now, it's decision time, right? You don't even have enough to put an ideal buy around this, but you can certainly put a very, very good buy around it. But you got to do something. You got to do something because this is your last chance. You are putting everything into this. It's all bet on black. You either need this round or you need a really damn good save to fight for overtime.
They're going to need something special here. And this round has to be the foundation of the Party Astronauts comeback, or EG are going to run away with a pick of the Party Astronauts. It is a lot more contentious this time around than the only other time these two teams have met on CS2. A 13-1 EG victory back around the time of the game swap, as mentioned in the pre-show, Mike. But Party Astronauts not looking to fare much better as far as the win-loss column is concerned. Unless they can flip things around here. Nade does not do anything. Spec falls away from the initial flash over of T-Con. And EG all bulked up around B. Nade onto the boost. There's nobody there. 3 stack down towards the site. Grizz around Toxic, Chop, and Ben. Site proper. Ben could go down here. Hex is peeking around. Flash in. He does not clear bridge. But somehow, someway, everyone's alive until Grizz can pop through. Walko 1 for 1. Ben lead establishes the lead again. Still fighting. Nade is good, but needs a little bit more. Chop down to Graffiti. Rotation down the door. Smoke and Molotov will allow a bomb plant here for Automatic George and Junior. Minimal utility left to hold. Just 2 smokes left. The flash goes through and Automatic stuck on site. No escape and less HP.
Just kind of committing into it. Okay, gonna re-smoke to get out of there. Curious on that decision. Shot gonna burn alive, but smoke certainly mean he's still covered off. Nice shot from Junior. This is starting to look good in the post plan. Need another one, but Junior's got it. He's good for it. He's collecting. It all falls to George. Cheeky spot, taking that ground on top. Oh, and he's pulled Pone alone off. There's no time. He just needs 1 bullet, and he knows it. And there's nothing Pone can do with that. With 1-on-1, a clutch from George. We will see map point on the board for the Evil Geniuses. They just need to knock through one of these next 5, and look at what's arrayed against them in this. They bet everything, did Party Astronauts. They got nothing, surviving out of the round, and now MP9's FAMI to try and keep them fighting here on their own map pick.
Well, you said they had to bet on black, and Mike, they were EG white after all.
Hey! Bada bing, bada boo. I like it.
It's gonna be scrappy though.
It's gotta be. You gotta do something. Specs out towards train. Haven't really played that yet. Gets nothing. Gets nothing. Damage is not good enough here. Spec, not by a long shot. So now they're in real trouble. Yeah, Walco and Junior are limping, but 5v3 for your map fate on the line. A smoke, a single flash, and 1 HE in addition to the guns in hand. That's what they got to work with here.
That is far from ideal for Party Astronauts. Already lost that one FAMAS, only one left, and when that is your proper rifle, it's not a good sign. Tagged on the Hex, but still a lot more to come. George with a nice little headshot to trade out Walco. That was that player, Dead Man Walking zombie mode for Walco. Ben goes down with a crispy little burst, and Chop in a 1v4. There is no way Chop can bring this back. One smoke, no kit, and the bomb can work its way to a wide open site. Might even get caught by Hex here as Chop starts to work into bathrooms.
Well, let's
adjusting
see.
For the potential
Might have a
lane
timing.
flank.
He's got a timing on this first player. Patience on it.
Knife.
No, you can't miss that at this point. The money doesn't matter. It's all about the round win. Wanted to see if he could get another kill. This isn't done. Time's an issue. 1v2 now. Chop, what can you do with the AK now found? Both players over on this side. Nade's going to deal some damage. They're going to swing. Double swing together. Taking the initiative there. Nice from EG. Nice reaction. No panic. They take control and they secure it. For a moment there, Chop had me believing, but that second half was all Evil Geniuses. They're looking good. Obviously, they had some good economic breaks as well in terms of breaking the PA money at the right moment, but the rounds are the rounds, right? PA had enough opportunities to fight there in the second half. They could not bring it through. That's a big win early on for Evil Geniuses in this series, and it's going to set them up very beautifully for our next two here, Bugs.
It really is, with EG's map pick of Ancient coming up next. They are in pole position to take this critical matchup against the Party Astronauts. They had their opportunities, but they couldn't close it out on the defense. A little too much Swiss cheese on the defense there, Mike, and they could not get the job done. Just not enough in the fragging department, really, in a lot of critical duels. Losing the 50-50s, and it cost them.
I'm more of a Bree guy personally, but it's time for us to take a break, and we'll be right back with map number 2 after this.
Don't go chasing your demons and ghosts, 'cause you might find what you're looking for. You might find what you're looking for. Don't go chasing your demons and ghosts, 'cause you might find what you're looking for. You might find what you're looking for. We both the same without rock bottom. Let it go, but we come back to craving problems. Am I your favorite kind of shame? Do I make you wanna? Ooh.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
All right, we're live. Thanks for bearing with us there. We are in the action. Hot in the action as well. EG's got a bomb plant. And this retake, well, a lot of it's going to depend on what Spec can do here on the flank, but he's been a little timid to get into it. Now he's going to get the first. Nicely found, but loses a teammate in the same breath, so it's all about Spec. Clear in the corner, nicely done. All about Spec indeed, as he's the last man alive, but he's reading this so well. Spec might just be able to win this out, but now the time is just going to have gotten past him. There's no kit here, and so he has, in fact, lost a valiant effort there from Spec, but just not enough time on the clock to make it happen. EG, a big pistol win.
Great start on their map pick on the T side of Ancient as well, getting things kicked off nicely with that victory. Had to remove the Spec from their brother's eye, and it took them getting a plank out of their own eye first, but they got the job done there, Mike, and that's what matters in the end. It's just the pistols now for Party Astronauts, the double flashes and the nade, and the USPs, the good old USPs. And I don't think anyone's going to take the silencer off of those and give us something fun to look at, but a mid-stack from PA's an interesting call, and if EG are so inclined to push into this, it could get messy. As it stands, this firing squad works for at least one, and I like this call from PA here. Nice little curveball, gets a kill. That's kind of the best you can expect on this kind of round.
Yeah, I mean, so the ideal there is that you have one or two players completely isolated and you just kill them and then you've got gun upgrades. I love the idea. I love using the smoke burst to your advantage in that kind of a situation. You know, you've got a smoke in towards red, they're clearing in towards donut. Hopefully a player's close. Obviously it doesn't work out here. EG are very tentative with it. They're very prepared for something tricksy happening. So they just lose the one, but I love that creativity coming out from Party Astronauts. I think that maybe my favorite part of Counter-Strike 2 is the changes to smokes and seeing the creativity that teams can deploy as far as when to pop them.
I have to agree. The smoke change is hands down, honestly, probably the best change that Counter-Strike has ever made. It just brings so much versatility to the game. It makes HE so much more valuable, too. and just the timings you can work with smokes, the fakes you can run with them, both psychologically and otherwise. Automatic's burning. He's roasting, and he's a barbecue Tim for right now, down to 30 HP. It's a great start for PA, although they have taken some damage on Spec. These smokes around on Ancient can yield some very fun and zany finishes to some engagements. So look at all this mid-control here from EG. The lot through his automatic charges into house. Ben takes down his second, though, and I think he's expecting automatic through as well.
Knows the players in the corner. Big kill for Ben. If he drops there, they're in a lot of trouble. As it is, though, this is going to get interesting. The push in from Spec is unorthodox. Here playing in the smoke. Actually don't know he's here, but he's not going to be able to get the kill. George get the reload off just in time. And now with the bomb down and the choke points locked off, a main control and donut control, this is a very tough retake. There's not even a kit. Frankly, PA might want to just pull the plug on this one. Gonna give it a look. First kill on, a second as well. Time's such an issue. Digging out the donut player. Chop can't do it. Now they're on the bomb proper, and they do have to commit, but with automatic gone. Oh, could have been enough, but George has it. That's the problem with A-Main and Donut both being under the control of the T's. The bomb will detonate. They get so close. There's no cigars for the party astronauts.
Only for EG there. Really only for George. He's the one who won that round in the end, but that was a nifty little double from him too, because only if you only got the one, then it doesn't even matter. The defuse is still happening, so great work by George to take care of both targets in his vicinity and get EG off to a 3-0 start here on map number 2. In case you guys missed map number 1, it was 13-7 in the favor of the Evil Geniuses. It's a half buy here from the Party Astronauts, and now that's saved AK for Ben. The duels, the 5.7, and the CZ75 coming through on Grizz. That's a gun I've not seen in a minute, but you can actually add it with the pistols now. You can have both the 5.7 and the CZ, or a 5.7 Tech 9 if you're on the T side. That's something that adds a little extra with the loadout changes to CS2. Maybe even add the R8 instead of some pistol. I don't know why you'd add the R8, but you know, you theoretically could if you really wanted to.
Could be done. Poor Grizz. Poor Grizz. Caught every bit of that, HE. EG showing this Eco a lot of respect, though. Look at how patient they're being with it. 50 seconds on the clock. Got some serious spam damage early and utility damage. But eventually they're going to have to make their way in towards this site. It's just pistols to greet them. Not too much of a threat the Party Astronauts can bring to bear, but it's about this window peak. This window peak could get interesting. Junior's the one back with the bomb. Move his way on in. Chop does get a kill, but it's otherwise a sweep to the site. Spec making noise. Bentley, does he want to commit this rifle? He will get one, and at this point, now it's too tempting. Now the round is a risk, and Junior just getting around the corner there. This one's definitely on the table, but Junior will wipe it right off of it. Some of these rounds getting a little tentative, a little close here, Boggs, but at the end of the day, the scoreline reads 4-0 for the Evil Geniuses.
The scoreline at the end of the day is what matters. You can be tight rounds all the way through, but if you win the game at the end, you've won the game. And for EG, that would mean winning the series, although their money will end up taking a big hit if they continue winning rounds with such a narrow margin for victory. The op is out for Pone alone, though, and that is something that can change the scope of these rounds for the Party Astronauts. He's going to take it peeking down B ramp. Nobody's peeking into him just yet. Flashes go long. Chop takes a bit of damage. The box to do it. Pone alone. He spots out Junior. But Walker was dealt with. Grizz out towards Cave in the meantime. 3 players still towards B, but look at the lurk from George over towards A. He's gained some information, he's gained some space, and now he's reinforced by automatic. The bomb making his long rotation through as well, and Party Astronauts shuffling into a bit of a 1-1-2 split, with 2 towards the B side, Hexed just to delay and keep the players on B side occupied, not letting them stray back towards the wide open A. Ben in Donut can be a nuisance, but he's also a relatively easy player to isolate in the situation for EG.
Yeah, it's more about keeping him alive for the post plant,
Yeah.
I'd imagine, is the idea behind the setup, right? Denies the easy bomb plants, gives some harassment damage, maybe takes a pick and stays alive. Spec now committing further in towards the site means that this is a bit more of a hold. Certainly sees the shadow on automatic, knows he's got him dead to right, so setting up the ability there. This is very awkward, but Spec fighting forward. Ben Lee getting that kill on mid. Now here's what this control of Donut allows them. It allows for the retake, it allows for the fight, it allows for you to make EG uncomfortable. With 28 seconds and no utility left, the problem is you have to get this bomb down while one of the smokes is still up, and that one's fading. You're in so much trouble. They're going to commit to the fight, but Chop's got him. Trade's likely not even good enough. Walko knows he needs a kill here. He's just not got the time for it. Has to try and commit to this plant. Oh, he'll do so, but Ponolone's got enough of a pixel there to put him down.
There's that first round for PA. Ben does a great job in Donut. Spec also on the site, getting that opener. Helps out a lot. And EG are going to use their first timeout very early into this game. They didn't use a single one on Overpass, no real reason to. But they're not satisfied in the manner of which they've been having victories, and they're not satisfied with the lack of economy after losing that first round. So they're going to go for a half-buy from the looks of things, and maybe not actually, as Galil's dropped over to automatic. He's buying down deeper. George on a Tech 9. Hext still at 2450. They're uncertain of what they want to go for here. Party Astronauts need to keep this one clean, though, regardless of the buy or lack thereof from EG. Party Astronauts keep 4 up. Easily reinvest into the next round and start to try and build a bank on the CT side. The double Galil's 3 P250s, that's not a bad buy up here for EG, considering the situation.
I'd almost like to see Junior go in a little more. I know he's saving for the AWP, but put some armor behind it.
I would agree with that.
Get
Maybe an extra flashbang or HE too.
But it'll be interesting to see how they try and maximize these guns with only the 2 sets of armor. Right now, it seems like they're hoping for some aggressive B main control to try and punish that. PA with this double cave setup aren't really interested in going beyond this, I'd imagine. At least not yet. Deep smoke in towards the door. Not even going to take the space behind it. That's interesting. But what I will say now is Automatic's worked its way all the way through red, but you can see how aware PA are of this. Trop's going to go back to address it. He's trying to hold for it. You have Spec as well in Donut. Once this vision clears, there's a possibility that Automatic gets pinched. Trying to go for this execute on towards B. The question is, does it pull Chop away? Oh, it's done so. Changed his focus. Hasn't committed in. The bomb was spotted, but now Automatic can work. And because he's been so quiet for so long, he's actually going to shift back in towards A. They killed the Donut player. This is big trouble now for Party Astronauts. Bentley does not know. He does not know the timing of this, and Automatic is actually just going to stick around to control this rotation. Ponalone's not looking for it. Oh, no. Big problems on. Ben has to hold strong. This bomb is being planted. He can't deny that, so it's already a successful round. And Ben now, 1 bullet. He's gone. What an incredible effort from the Evil Geniuses. Getting the kills in towards Donut. They just bisect the map. And Automatic, secret agent, man. He only needs 1 kill ultimately to sow so much disarray in the setup.
Yeah, and if you waited, there's a good chance Ponalone ends up seeing him out of the peripheral or checks right for whatever reason. So he has to get that first kill. He has to secure that first one off the board. And he does just that. Great play by Automatic, sneaking into the back lines, hiding in their spawn, and striking where they would least expect it. EG flipped this one on its head and knocked Party Astronauts down a peg. I would say they take out the rocket booster, or maybe even both here. It's pistols again for PA on the CT side of Ancient. Their Ancient stats going back towards CSGO, rather equivalent between CT and T, with a slight favorability to the offense just by 1.9%. So it's not like there's that much of a difference between their offense and defense, at least historically in the last 3 months as a whole. Automatic plucking 1 and 2 from the pack. It takes a bit to try and get a third, and the Glock may have to be what seals the deal, and it will. Hext and George get the last couple. It's a flawless anti-eco for EG, but the damage done on round number 6 is really where things start to shift fully into the favor of the Evil Geniuses, where they establish a stranglehold on their map pick.
Looking like it. Still a lot of Counter-Strike to be played. 5 rounds of it, to be specific, in this wonderful MR12 world that we live in. But Party Astronauts, they're going to take a time out here. Talk things over, right? They recognize that this is the juncture where, okay, maybe it hasn't gone to plan, but it's still recoverable. We're going to have an investment here. We can figure out how to put this together and avoid getting picked apart. One thing that Evil Geniuses are going to do, or at least have certainly done so far this map, they're going to give you the space initially. They're going to hold back. They're going to see what you're trying to do and then figure out their counter blow. So the question is, for Party Astronauts, do you want to just hold back and see if you can, starve them of that information? Or do you want to take advantage of it and take aggressive posturing? Take that space from them, right? B main control, deep mid control. These are the things you can fight for. But you just have to be prepared that EG are going to come in with a vengeance. Speaking of which, actually, this is a much faster play from EG. So this is a change-up. They're straight in towards A main. They're not holding on to any B main control. They've got presence in mid. But establishing this control in towards A main, we could just see them go for a faster hit. Especially, I believe Automatic's got some vision. He's not seeing anybody push down mid, so he knows that information is a little bit starved. Yeah, they're going in. They're taking this space. So I kind of like this change-up for EG. See how it works out. Molotov making things difficult. Ben Leeds able to catch the first. The question's going to be Automatic. Lurking around here in towards mid. Can he catch the donut player? As has so often been the case, and indeed he can. His patience is rewarded. Now he controls the rotations. They're still down in numbers. They might need more from Automatic, and he knows he's got too many things to watch. That's the problem here. And as the smokes fade, now Hex and Junior are in a very tough spot. Needs some kills to make this plant more comfortable. You got 50 seconds in which to operate. They should not have the option to bail out at this point, and I think they know it.
Yeah, they've got to commit here. They have to find an opening. They have to give themselves a window. That flash might just do it. Polone slips away. That is huge for PA. No chance for the bomb plant still.
They're doing it again. Same flash, same peek.
But he's not even holding it this time. He's going to peek into it now.
Oh. Well, can't fault him for trying. Polone will get caught one way or another. Now it all falls to Hex. 14 seconds. Does need to die sometime in this, but damage, well worth it. That extra kill is actually huge. Look at what it does to the PA economy. Well worth it. They'll be able to buy in, no problem on the Evil Geniuses side. Yes, they yield this round. Yes, this was such an important victory for Party Astronauts, but now Party Astronauts have to build. They have to, or it's curtains. It's over. This next round takes on so much importance.
Yeah, the weight continually shifting onto the shoulders of the Party Astronauts. EG already with 6. Not quite the best scoreline for them on the T side, but it's getting there. They're already in a good spot for it. And now they're just going to go for a fastball again down the middle, this time up towards B. George clearing out the angles, spots out top of the cave, and he does find out Specs back towards Cube, but Hext is there for the refrag. Do they expect Grizz here, though? Automatic watching. So is Hext. There is 1-for-1 again, going back the way of EG, and is this a save or is this a go for the old guard of PA? Ben and Pone alone, incredibly long-time teammates, and it does have to be a save. There's no option back in, and no money for the Party Astronauts.
Choke points controlled, no money to spare, an op on the retake now. I mean, they've got a lot to save as well, right? The molly, the flash, the smoke. But, oof, that is a gut punch of a round. Evil Geniuses, they let them get one breath and then immediately just shove them back under the water. This is painful if you're a fan of the Astronauts. There will be 7 on the board for Evil Geniuses. And reminder, if you're joining us, didn't watch map 1, EG are up. They won on overpass. Now this is their map pick, the first half of which is going swimmingly.
Oh yeah, they're not even swimming on this green pool. They're in a nice oceaner. maybe even just like a rooftop.
I don't know, man. The green pool
somewhere.
looks like calming to me. You put some flowers on it, you light some candles. That could be like a little nature spot.
like a lazy river sort of
Like
deal.
you might get
Stick
some
an inflatable
diseases
on there and
afterwards,
float
but wouldn't
about.
it be worth it?
I mean, as long as I get to go explore the megalith afterwards, yes.
There you go. George, taking all this ground, all this space, and shop drop means there is cave presence. For a moment, Grizzly does get something out of it. So well done from Grizz, but the bomb should be planted, and the end result should be Ponalone saving. Unlikely his teammates doing much the same.
Yeah, another save here from Party Astronauts, and at this point, the saves just become a curse. It's not a blessing at all. Just piles on the fact they're unable to get rounds on the board as we go in the last round or two of this half. There's just no window of opportunity for Party Astronauts to strike right back. The best case at 8-4. It is continually getting worse, and down goes Spec. He was just hunting for something, an upgrade perhaps, and he'll find nothing but a sweet release in Hades' domain. The op and the FAMAS save again. The money is there to reinvest. And will EG go fast again? They've been picking up the pace here. It's about time for them to pump the brakes a little bit. Maybe even try and drift around a corner. Throw something off. But at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mid play, perhaps? No, default. Back to the slow play for the Evil Geniuses, and maybe a pick over toward B with this cave fight from Party Astronauts trying to stymie the aggression that EG have shown in the last few rounds. Does Walko expect this? He's about to be sandwiched. He's not looking behind, and the Grizzler gets him for the one.
The Grizzler, huh? I like it. He's killed the Batman. And now they've actually got some control. I like it. Party Astronaut taking some initiative, making the move here, catching a player off guard, dropping utility as well to isolate that one out, giving themselves an advantage. Problem is, well, they also lost the other side of the map, and now they've lost B as well. What is this? George at least gets caught on his walkthrough. That could have been disastrous, but indeed it is. Bombs down. You still got automatic alive in mid. Chop is about to be a dead man. So now the only element of this retake is from CT, and look at the panic. They don't know which way to look to Ben and Pone alone. Can't save at this point. You gotta go, guys. They're just gonna go straight to their death. Nothing that can be done about it. 9 on the board for the Evil Geniuses. This domination continues.
The domination, I think, is a very accurate way to put it. I don't know if there's a better way to put it, Mike. It's just been EG all day, every single round. They've either been close or they've won it. There's been no real signs of success for the Party Astronauts here. Rounds in isolation, scrappy victories, and Evil Geniuses in full command of their map pick, map number 2 of this series. This would put them over the line and take this series 2-0 over the Party Astronauts as well. Spec runs right into George. They pass, ships in the night, but I believe Spec knows exactly what's just happened. He's flipped around 180. And, well, Grizz is there
really
to support
weird.
as well. Who
Grizz
gets
can
the
put a
first
bullet in
kill?
his teammate. Oh, no.
Yeah.
All good.
That was a little awkward.
Unusual to say the least, but again, it does give them an advantage, right? This is now 2 rounds in a row where Party Astronauts have gone out, taking the initiative. Last time didn't wind up working for them, but it was still a good play. From us right now, you can see it's like Party Astronauts already flinching for the second blow, and there it comes, automatic. The counter punch now with mid control again. He's been so good at this, but Spec will deal with him. Keep the advantage in their favor. Hex just trying to solo dolo walk on to B. He got very far last time. Might here as well. Off of in, teammate to help. Grizz gonna burn. Hex reads it. And Grizz is stuck. How does he get out? Flashbang needed. Hexed out of bullets. Will be dropped upon. And Spec now here. The cavalry on time. It's just gonna be Walker with 6 points of health. He'll get the bomb plant off, but Ben Leaf should be the chance to secure
grab an
at
op, though.
least third round. He could do. But he's going to trust this one-shot headshot. Doesn't know the spacing on Ben. Doesn't know where he's coming from either. So it is causing him to doubt just a little bit. And Walco playing open, expecting the player cave. This is leaving himself so exposed. He took a gamble. And it did not pay off. Picking up the kit. Picking up the round. The half is over. The economy doesn't matter, Ben. But good habits, good to keep. We're headed to the break. This one could be quick. Evil Geniuses just need 4 rounds. And they're done. See if they can get them. Pistol round takes on a lot of importance in this kind of a situation. Seems like we're getting a faster one over towards B. The party astronauts, they'll hit the pause just a bit, see if some aggression's going to come through while they set up their take. Clearing out the corner, clearing out the nook, taking this space. It's a retake setup for EG, so they will be allowed full control. Party astronauts utility not doing them any good, but it will allow them to bomb plant if the bomb gets out of cave. Indeed it does. Now once these smokes fade, on comes the retake. And EG, making no secret about this, they're all coming from the same side. There's no window presence. There's no controlling towards mid. They're just going to go for a straight on. Taken towards site.
Numbers versus numbers. 5v5 on the retake. The Glock's up close, but Chop gets cut down. Walco charging in the cave, but Riz goes 1 for 1. Podolon around the side pillar. Doubles up looking for more. Spec there to back him up. It's up to Automatic. Hero of the first pistol round, but not this time. 3 rounds prior, he got 4. This time, only 1. And Party Astronauts had to win this pistol or win the following 8-go, and they win the pistol round. This is step number 1 to a potential comeback here. Still a very long road to go. They're down by 5. But that is box number 1 checked off for PA. A confident pistol round victory. And Evil Geniuses are circling. They're smelling the blood in the water. And they are buying up to counter this Galil round from PA. 2 MP9s, a CZ, a P250, and a Scout for Junior. And that
Going
Scout boosted
blow.
up. I like this post. I love this boost.
Going for the knockout blow right here, right now. There's the check. Ooh, shot's
What?
not on. Shot's not on. Didn't connect. A little wide. Some space will be taken. Rinse repeated the pistol round. Sight's been lost. This time there's Cave presence though, and Walco does get one with the CZ. A little something to boost up. Oh my goodness, look at the damage. Alone limping. The damage has been traded in kind. The question becomes, do EG want to commit through these choke points, or do they want to get an extra round with the upgraded guns? Automatics ahead of the smoke. Just looking like it could be the commit. Utility being tossed out here again. Starting to make the move. Ponalone burns into the Scout. He goes. Pressure on that smoke. A little too deep. Leaves a window for Ben Lee. That misthrow may cost them, and indeed it does. Bitterly. Ben would be on for the ace, but Junior, well, he'll give it to him. Ben will take it, whether you give it or not. What a way to step up for the captain. And Party Astronauts survive the force.
Survive they do, but reinvest they must. Luckily for them, it's just going to be USPs and P2Ks on the CT side for guns. Not much of an upgrade coming forth here from the Evil Geniuses. A nade stack idea. Okay, let's see where this goes. I'm liking the idea. Probably something out towards mid. No, they're going to nade stack 2 isolated sites. 3 towards B ramp. And the other 2 just going to hold on towards the nades on A. The nades do a gross amount of 31 points of damage. So 10 damage per nade. 10.3 damage roughly. I thought it was going to be a lot better, but Party Astronauts, they skirt by it, they move up towards Snake, and dodge the proverbial bullet, or in that case, artillery strike.
Sometimes literal bullet. Move on out. Walker was cleared. There he swings. Okay. No lazy clears here for the Party Astronauts. They can't afford that kind of a mistake. That almost got a little weird for Junior, but it's all good. No harm, no foul, no bodies lost, no hope of winning this round for the Evil Geniuses. So, elbow spotted. 6 will almost certainly be on the board at this point, and the SMG is making some extra money here as well. Well done. 3 kills coming through off the MAC 10s. That's some extra cash in the pocketbook. And Party Astronauts have closed this gap to 3.
Gap down to 3. But there's still the gun round to contest with. The full buy here for EG. The op out for Junior. Just MAC 10s, Galils, the 1 AK on Ben. Party Astronauts have to get this done. They can end up in a bad spot. They do have money, yes. Don't want to let EG get to 10. At least do a lot of damage with these guns here. If you are to lose the round.
And Donut is interesting, right? It's a tough angle to hold. But Junior's confident into it. Walko potentially with a lot of action around him. And it's automatic instead. Who's going to get called first? That opens up Red Room. Ben Lee repeating some of the success that Walko himself, or that automatic rather, himself was having in the first half. But Junior and George, J&J hold strong in the donut. But now this is going to be a really tough spot to clear out.
I think they
know
know
where
Ben
the player could be through. They're trying to re-clear this, but questions about timing here. Bentley coming all the way around. There's not the mid pinch. So it's a little bit awkward, but EG have flowed out of the donut. Is there a smoke for this? There's no smoke. They're going to have to do with mollies and flashes, and they've just lost their CT player. Losing bed lead is really costly here. Shot manages to get the numbers pushed in, but now they're going to know, because of that vision from Junior, because of George now clearing in towards A main. Got a good read on the positioning, so they're going to take the fight to Junior, but he's going to punish. And it's all over. Junior, nice series of kills into that round. Nice way to get a 10th on the board for EG.
Great way to get that 10th on the board for EG. And they keep 4 alive, so that's huge for the economy. Junior's op shows up on CT's side. The first round, he gets it in his hands. And EG now 3 rounds away from taking this series. And a very important one, considering the standings at this point in NAECL. Party Astronauts, a long road back in again, but they have this one buy. They get the bomb down, they can buy again, but at this point, those little small, okay, they can at least buy again, are going to run out. They only have 2 more rounds as margin for error. They cannot afford a third. The op from Pone alone needs to shine, it needs to shimmer. Real contact out towards middle. Automatic takes some spam through the smoke.
I think there was vision.
Broadsides.
They busted it by smoke. There's a little bit of vision on that one. It's fortunate that wasn't a headshot. But as it is, a lot of space here in towards the red room, and automatic, he's going to be frozen up by this. Has to know it's a possibility the player's right here. Actually give it up. So Spec's got a lot of room to rumble. Ooh, gets the vision, gets the spot. Util coming over. How did PA want to read this? Had all that positioning. Put the smoke down. Lost the control. Junior's back out of it. Bold. Knew he had to reposition or to get painted into a corner. And so he is, in fact, out. But you can tell they don't know where Spec is exactly.
Not yet. Not quite yet. Walco's in a dangerous spot, too, but Spec finally gets caught out. That stabilizes things, and the peek in from Walco yield to almost a second, but Grizz able to shut him down for one. Hext, however, cuts out Chop as he tries to cross into sight. George is flanking through. Grizz is stuck between a rock and a hard place. He has to push on out. There's a big one from the off of Pone alone. 3v2 with all wounded on the EG side. Take the bomb plant, bait out the peak. Level, but not for long. Junior's there for one more, and Grizz gets caught from behind. 11 on the board. The Evil Geniuses, a paltry 6 for Party Astronauts, and no money for the T side. They're dead broke here. They can force, sure, and they might force here, because 6 rounds in a row is incredibly unlikely, but so is winning a round with a force buy. This kind of money would entail. It's not a good situation at all for Party Astronauts. They should have 2 timeouts left, Mike. I would have liked to see one used here. They're just going to half into it. Deagle's on 3, P2 50 on 1. No utility whatsoever. They're relying on shots and damage, maybe a salvaged gun. The nade strike doesn't do much, but neither does that boost. And the Evil Geniuses really settling in now. Deep mid presence from George. Walco up on Snake. And this segmented hold from the default of the T side about to be cut in half here. And Junior, he's been good. Won't miss that kind of a peak.
Certainly will not. A little bit of a cheeky boost up here outside the cave in case they get antsy, but with the 5v4 now, they don't really need to, and George is actually taking space. He was huge in the last round. Timely peek out of A main, alleviated the pressure in towards mid, and then, of course, he gets the last kill of the round, but it's all about right place, right time for George in that one, and might be doing that again. Anticipating some sort of a mid play. You got this automatic George setup. Doesn't mean they've gone light on A itself, but George, yes, he can't get that trade. Not an ideal, obviously, that you lose the guy in the first place, but George, oh my goodness, the spray control making good on it. Even got damage on Pone alone, enough that the nade finishes him off. 6 rounds, 6 series points here at Boggs. They just need one.
One is all they need. Party Astronauts desperately trying to hang on for dear life, buy into this with all they can muster. Khalil's on 2, AK's on 3. The utility is good. Ben. Okay, he sells a flashbang and gets an AK, so AK's on 4. Sacrificing one extra piece of utility for that extra firepower. A decent trade that. And an A lean heavily in favor here for the Party Astronauts. Junior essentially soloing as his team is so far removed out through Donut into mid. He takes that shot, misses the opportunity, and backs away towards CT spawn. Drops that smoke as mid's now the rotation from the Party Astronauts. Smokes and mollies down the peak from Walco, and that's 1+ damage. Chop runs through. Will he be spotted? Will he catch the timing? And neither former teammate will run into the other as Automatic drops all the way down bottom middle, trying to put the final nails in this Party Astronauts coffin and ship them off into the heart of the star.
Pause here in the middle round. Both sides very light towards A. You just got Junior peering in. There's no donut control, which we've seen EG go for a lot. They're just leaving George here in the cubby. Same position he was playing last round, but no Automatic to play off of. Gonna have a flashbang, but no kill on it. Walco, though, will secure that B main control and keep the advantage in their favor. Timing beautiful there for Automatic. Ben Leet was just trying to get caught in transition. The swing back gets him past the off, but Junior, he'll just be further into the fight, and that's it. That is all she wrote for the Party Astronauts. Well done there from the Evil Geniuses. That is a really, really encouraging victory if you're a fan of the Evil Geniuses. Good, strong showing on Overpass, even when there were rounds where we frankly looked like they were getting outcalled initially, right? They settle in, they don't let it get to them. They have the individuals as well to bail out, and they start to get a feel for the calling. And then Ancient was a masterclass, right? It felt like they were outplaying Party Astronauts. They were in position, especially in the first half. They were reading the rotations from Party Astronauts. They were always in the right place at the right time. Even when rounds were getting chaotic, they were taking space elsewhere. They were incredibly dynamic with them. That's everything we want to see for this Evil Geniuses team. It feels like they're getting a lot more settled into this game. And so we're starting to see that team that we had before the game switch, right? That team where we were really starting to get excited about the squad. We're starting to see it again.
Yeah, they're coming to life here in CS2. It took them a while to get acquainted with the way the game is working, but they're looking a lot better, a lot more adapted to the situations, to the changes made. Great reads, great adjustments, great use of the utility for EG this game. Some great rifle work, and of course, Junior on that op, looking like he's lost nothing on CS2. Up close and personal, looking better than he did far away with it, honestly. And that's been a hard thing for a lot of operators to manage. So for Junior, he's looking better and better. EG as a whole are looking more and more confident. And Party Astronauts, they got outclassed here on both maps, but even more so on Ancient. The gulf was that much more evident.
They absolutely did. Going to be some rounds to review, some rounds to look at, but I mean, this one did look like just a commanding EG victory pretty much every step of the way. So massive props to them. I think there were errors for EG, but there weren't errors for Party Astronauts rather. But there wasn't anything glaring. It just felt like Evil Geniuses played a very airtight game, and that's impressive. That's incredibly encouraging as well if you're a fan of the organization. So that is going to wrap up our broadcast. EG will improve to, I believe, 5-2 on the season now, looking very good as we lean in towards playoffs. And we will say good night. More of the ESL Challenger League will be coming at you tomorrow, both in EU and NA. We'll see you then. Good night for now, folks.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.